Hey everyone, thank you for coming and welcome to our presentation.
We are Group 2, made up of myself, Scott, and Travis. When we were trying to decide on a project, we first focused on trying to find an issue to correct with technology.
So we started talking and the topic of resentment towards tech transplants to cities came up.
That's when it dawned on us that despite the bright prospects for the future of many computer science jobs, there is a lot of hostility in some of the places that are considered meccas of tech dev.
We had the thought that if we could induce tech bros to go out into their new home and learn about the local spots, it could foster a better attitude from them, and that would translate to a better view of the rest of us by local populaces.
And that's when we hit upon the idea for Geocaching.
We decided to combine the idea of geocaching, where you locate hidden cache sites and leave a signature in the logbook,
with the augmented reality style of something like Pokemon Go to make a fun and interactive activity. We begin our demonstration with our sign up and login segments. As you can see, this is where you register as a new user. First, you have to provide a valid email, a first name, and a last name. The password requirements are displayed in the hint. And you have to add a confirmed password, which must be identical to the password that you put in before. If the email is not valid, or the password does not match the requirements, or the confirmed password is not the same as the first password, the system will kick back an error informing you. Once Scott hits the register button, the system sends us a verification code in our email. But what if something were to happen while we were in the middle of signing up and the app closed, for instance, by accident? Or maybe your power went. Note, we do have a proper logo for our app, but for some reason the emulator doesn't display it. When Scott attempts to log in, he'll be presented with the opportunity to give his credentials, and choose to save those login credentials to his phone using shared preferences. And voila! Even though we failed to finish our verification earlier, now that we have the code, Scott can correct this error. And as you can see, our login credentials have been saved so we can log in easily and quickly. Now, we simply have to send the emulator a location to have it center on us. Normally this would be done automatically by location services, but the emulator has issues, as we all know. Now we can see the variety of locations and caches around us that we can select from. Let's say we wanted to go to the UW, but we've selected the wrong one, so now we'll cancel out by hitting no. We find the right cache that we want to go to, and then we simply select yes to confirm, which brings us to our compass fragment, probably the most difficult and demanding fragment of our entire project. At the top, you can see the distance to your target that you are, and below that, you'll see the large green arrow, which indicates the direction you should go. Optimally, this would reorient itself automatically based on the accelerometer in the phone. However, we were unable to completely integrate that into our project, so for now we have to manually change the longitude and latitude. As you can see, this causes the arrow to reorient in the proper direction. But if we were to get to within, I believe it's 5 meters of our target, the Geocaching page will open with our logo at the top, a log of people who have found the site before you, along with their nicknames and any comments they might have left, and a button to sign the log, which will enable us to leave a comment in our names. As you can see, we scroll back down, and below Scott Hiraki is Scott Hiraki with 2 exclamation points. Now we're done. And so, now that we're returned to our map screen, we can simply send our coordinates back, selecting a location. For instance, we'll select the UW again, hit yes to confirm, returning us to our compass, and then we'll send our location coordinates again, getting us get back into our log. Now, as you scroll down, you can see Scott's in the log a second time, with 2 exclamation points this time. But what happens if you hit sign log again? Nothing, because we've disabled it. We faced a lot of challenges with our design.
It felt a little overwhelming at times.
Getting the Google Maps API to work properly at first was nearly impossible, but after some fiddling with it, we discovered several features of the API that helped our final project.
The bearing to and distance to functions enabled us to correctly implement our rudimentary compass arrow. However, we were unable to get the accelerometer to work properly, and if we were to revisit this project, that would be one of the most important factors for us to correct.
Transitioning through the database list to display it in the log was also complicated by the necessity of using a recycler view.
This required us to create a custom linear view and log adapter to use with the recycler view widget.
And of course, the nightmare that is GitHub haunted us throughout the project. It repeatedly slagged our entire project, causing commit errors and merge problems that forced us to restart twice from scratch with new repositories. While we learned quite a bit during the course of this project, the most important things we learned were how to properly use API web calls, how to parse JSON objects correctly, and to keep it simple, stupid.
Thank you for coming to our presentation, and have a great day.